There were times that you were looking at potentially being bought, an acquisition. Why didn't you go down that path? Why was public company that much more fruitful?
We were never looking to be bought, but people were always interested in us, but we always wanted to be an independent company that went public.
Okay.
And for us, really what drove it was a couple things. One is that, and this was surprising to me as an entrepreneur and as a CEO, a big factor was employees, right? We compensated employees partly in stock. And going public was the best way to help them realize that compensation. There was also big gains in terms of customer perception. What we do is we really sell a service that's about trust and security. And to be a listed company, when you're selling to the largest organizations in the world, it really helps that message. Your financials are audited. They know you have. They can see. They can see your business is successful, and they can see you have real staying power. And it helps them make what's a very important purchase for them with more confidence.
Interesting. We're seeing a bit of a rise of IPOs in the tech world. We've got Dropbox just went
Still
public.
relatively few, though, overall.
You think?
Yeah.
What
compared to past norms.
Do you think that will pick up?
Well, I think there's a couple things at play. One is that in the last 5 years or so, or really last 10 years, the venture capital and late stage rounds has been so prevalent. A lot of these companies, it used to be, it was so in a quaint old time, you went public because you needed money, right? But now these companies could raise so much money privately. I mean, Dropbox raised hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars privately. They never had to go public. But now you're seeing more and more companies kind of come to that maturity where they can go public.
What about Spotify listing but not having an IPO as such, not raising new money? Do you think that's something that could catch on?
Yeah, well, I think it's, different companies are do it for different reasons, but it's kind of back to what I was saying about, another reason to go public is to let your employees or other shareholders reap some of the rewards of investing in you. And yeah, they're kind of doing that without having to raise any more money, which I can't speak to the specific reasons why they chose that, but it is a little bit non-traditional.
You talked about it just earlier, how going public helped with the fact that you're all about trust and about security. Talk to us about trust and security at the moment in the time where all we can talk about is Facebook, the data of 50 million Americans getting into the hands of Cambridge Analytica, the fight they're fighting at the moment. How are you seeing the focus on data and on privacy affecting your business? Yeah,
well, it is truly on everyone's mind. One of the big things that's really accelerated our business in the last 3 or 4 years is that when we started, identity management and security, they were a little bit, the people in IT would worry about it, but they weren't prevalent in the top levels of organizations. Now, security and privacy is really a board level conversation. And every board in every industry has two pressures that, in a lot of times, are kind of opposite, right? One pressure is they have to connect with their customers more. They have to provide better websites, better services, better mobile apps, which means collecting more data and providing a better value to their customers, right? More personalized, more specific to them. On the other hand, they have to be more secure, and they have to make sure that they are not breached. They have to make sure that they can provide the privacy controls and comply with regulations like GDPR. So a lot of times those things are at odds, and it's hard to do both. And now every board, every leadership team in every industry is trying to figure out how to do both of those things, and that's where we can help them.
GDPR is the General Data Protection Regulation that's coming into place in the EU May the 25th.
Yeah.
How do you view that regulation? Because that's going to make privacy that much more important. It really does give more power back to the consumer. And in fact, if Facebook was going through what it had done, if what had occurred at Facebook had occurred today, or indeed in post May 25th, they could have racked up significant fines. And how is that affecting your clients? And do you think it's the right sort of regulation?
I think it's great for the industry. I mean, it does something very simple, which I think is very powerful. It raises the conversation and gives us a way to talk about these things and what is sufficient controls and who controls what. I mean, that's a pretty simple concept that our industry, I don't think, has really wrestled with enough. And just by having these regulations and having this vernacular on how we talk about this, really gives us the conversation to really figure some of these problems out.